Hey, what's up, dudes? Welcome to the channel. I'm just some guy. It's a little bit brighter here today. Let me center myself. I pushed my stuff back further. So hey, I just got done. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, well, welcome back. Hold on, let me ambiance ourselves here. So I just got done cooking some garlic bread burgers. They actually smell and look really, really good. However, when I recorded it, it took a while, but when I recorded it, I went back around to check my video to upload it. Here, apparently, for some reason, it time-lapsed and didn't record any of my audio. So, after I get done eating, I am going to have to go back upstairs. I'm going to have to see if I even have DaVinci Resolve installed on my computer. And then I'm going to have to untime-lapse it and then voice over it because these look really good. And we're going to find out how good they are. Now, this is a little bit crispy here, but it's okay. Yo, that's good. So, what I did, if you're watching these out of order, which you will be if you're watching them as they come out, because that one's going to take me some time, is this is 2 pieces of Texas toast with a burger in between, garlic and sriracha seasoning on it, cheese, more mozzarella, some ragu, and an onion. And it's good. I probably could have made the burgers a little bit thinner so that they cooked through faster, but it's about, I'd say, medium rare. I typically like my burgers to be medium well, just because of burger mouth texture. Steaks, rare, I'll eat it blue, but burger has a different mouth feel, and I feel like burger needs to be like medium at the minimum. This is good. Faux show. I've been really enjoying like thinking up things to make, because like for me, when I'm cooking, right, I don't really go by like a recipe. I'm not a big recipe fan. I might get like a general idea of like something if I'm trying to make like something new, or it's like something that does need like to kind of adhere by some guidelines. Like, you know, you don't want to put like a pound of salt in like a soup, you know? But I feel like when you're making burgers or anything on the grill or stuff you can be a little bit more lax with, just experiment. See what works, right? You know, that's a big thing for me, is just experimenting with food. One of the things that I tried like a while back that like was really huge for me was tomato soup and mac and cheese. So basically you make the noodles for the mac and cheese, but you don't drain all of the water. Like you drain about half of the water. Then afterwards you come through and you put the tomato soup in, and then you put it on like a low simmer so that you're making tomato soup with the macaroni noodles in it, and then you put the cheese in there, so you make a cheesy tomato noodle soup. It's actually really, really good. And then you get some Fritos, and then you just scoop it all up with Fritos. Bro, it's pretty choice. But usually you need like, well, depends on how soupy you want to make it, right? I mean, it's kind of up to you in that case. Like you can either make it less soupy, so it's just like a tomato sauce, a cheesy tomato sauce with your noodles. Or you can make it like actual soupy. So again, that's one of those experiment things. Like just kind of figure it out. See how you like it. Now remember, the thing was I was going to make some tomato soup and I was going to make some mac and cheese. And I only had like one clean pan. And I was kind of annoyed because I was like, man, I'm going to have to like try to figure out, like make the tomato soup. Then I got to clean the pan. And then I got to make the mac and cheese because cleaning out a mac and cheese pan is way harder than cleaning out a tomato soup pan. And then I was like, you know, eureka moment. Just make them together. And I did. And it was great. Now, one of the things with hamburgers, in my opinion, is if you got like those small, like flat burgers or, you know, even like the smash burgers. I personally am not a smash burger fan. Like you can just plow down on like a half a dozen of those in like no time, right? But if you got like a thick burger, like you got a big chunky like meaty boy burger, like you eat like one of these and you're just kind of like, whew, man, that was substantial. Like these are substantial. Plus you got the Texas toast on the side, so it's not like it's just a piece of bread or something like that. These are really, really good. I mean, I think I would adjust it a little bit the next time. I won't put the garlic bread on the grill as early so that I don't toast up the bottom too much. But overall, this was an A+ experiment. I might actually just save the last one for later, or tomorrow. You know, this one did cook through pretty well. Maybe it was just where the other one was. Like, I feel like that last one didn't cook as through. Although this one, mouthfeel, this one's like a medium, I think. Like, I don't know, mouthfeel wise, it's a bit different. Also, I need to put more sriracha seasoning in this. Like, I don't even really taste like the sriracha seasoning at all. There's a good garlic, but that's also probably from the garlic butter that's on the garlic bread. Like, I was hoping for a little bit more sriracha in there. Noted. The ragu's pretty good. I didn't put a lot on there. I used like used like a little ramen spoon to just kind of place it on there, using the onion as kind of the thing to like hold it in place type of deal. So overall, though, I think it worked out really well. But what else is going on? Hey, I hope you're having a good weekend. My weekend's going pretty good. Crypto's popping off. I'm making lots of money to do nothing, which is great because I've been, you know, losing money for years now. Finally, nice to have like a good day, right? So that's huge. Like the thing is though, is it's like it sucks because like right now, like I have enough that I could just cash everything out and pay off my house. But at the same time, I could have more. And I know that's the greed talking, right? But like, here's the thing. Think about it this way, right? Like, when I bought my house, it was I got like a 4.15% interest rate. So it's not like I'm paying, a ton of interest, right? It's not like one of those things where it's like, you're paying like 50% APR on like a credit card. So you want to get rid of that as like soon as possible. So my thing is like, yeah, I could just pay my house off and then I don't have to worry about that. But then I just straight neuter my investments, right? Like, they're just gone. Now, you might say, well, yeah, but what if it just dumps tomorrow? Like it does, because it's crypto. And that's a fair point. And, I've lived through that. There have been a lot of times where if I would have just cashed out, I would have, eliminated all the debt in my life. But I didn't. But this time, I'm going to get to a certain point, and I might take half of it out. Like, I think it's easier to, like, just kind of maintain investments when you're not hurting for money, right? Like, there have been times in the past where I've been hurting for money, and it's like you look at it and you're like, all right, well, you got to cut some corners somewhere, so I'm not contributing to my 401k anymore because I need that extra money, to pay bills, pay things down, right? But I'm not hurting for money right now. So it's like I kind of want to let it ride and see where it goes. Because like, in my opinion, like, to completely cash out, like, I would want to have like life-changing money, right? Like, I think that's a big thing for me. Is it's like, let's say I cashed out like 20K. That's not going to pay off my house. That's not going to pay off some of my bills. Well, it would pay off some of my bills, but not all of my bills, right? Yeah, I'd pay that stuff down. But is that going to radically change my life versus, let's say, if I had $250,000? That would be a lot. That would be a good life changer amount of money. Obviously, if I had like, $500,000, or it's like, I see these people that they're like, oh, $1 million isn't enough to make it anymore. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what world you live in, but like, if you could just like, if you got $1 million, you could just live in a house, just not work, because like, let's be real, unless you're living like a really goofy, like high excessive lifestyle, like if you just parked $1 million, like even if you just paid stuff off and then just parked $1 million, bro, I could live off of like the interest off of like $500,000. But I also don't really like, I don't spend a ton of money on food because it's just me. Like, I guess it would be different, right, if you obviously have a family. Like, that's a whole different ball game. But it's like, for $1 million, you can get a modest house somewhere on some property, chill, garden, live your life, read all the internet all day if you wanted to. Like, it's just so much. And then I just see these like brain rotted TikTok Zoomers on the internet that are just like, bruh, if I ain't get $10 million, can I even afford to live life, dude? And it's like, I know that you're just trolling at this point because there's nobody who thinks that way, like for real. But that segues me into something else. I was watching a video yesterday about like the Twitch adpocalypse that's supposed to be coming. Now, I've always said I am super glad that my financials are in no way tied to content creation. Like I've never wanted that. Because it's such a fickle thing, right? And so now there's like this big drama on Twitch because of Zionism and anti-Semitism and anti-Palestinian stuff. And I'm also glad that I'm not in politics because, dude, that stuff is annoying so hard. But regardless, a lot of advertisers are pulling their money out of Twitch at the moment, which is in turn cratering a lot of content creators' ad revenue. Now, when I see a content creator that goes, bro, it sucks. I used to go from making $100 a day in ads. Also, before you come in and go, streaming and content creation isn't a job. If it's so easy and it's not a job, why aren't you doing it? Like, are you actually so dumb that if content creation is so easy and it's not a job, that you would willingly go work a harder job for infinitely less money, in your opinion? Like, I've always hated this whole thing where, now, don't get me wrong, streaming and content creation is not a physically hard job, depending on what content you make. Streaming and content creation isn't a hard job if you are naturally charismatic, but there's also a lot of mental taxation that you get. Now, I'm not saying that it's harder than, working retail during a Christmas rush, but hard is a subjective thing, especially if you don't have like a team of people that like edit all of your stuff, do your research, do like what games you're going to play, like any VTuber out there that's like a corpo VTuber, right? Regardless, that's off of the topic here. But like, if I see somebody that's like complaining because, they stream 8 hours a day and, they have a modest following and they went from like $100 in ad revenue to $15 in ad revenue, well, that sucks. But like, you'll see these people that are like, bruh, dog, Twitch is killing me, bro. Twitch is killing me, dude. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to survive anymore. I went from making $10K a day in ad revenue to only $2K a day. Bro, it's hard out here on these streets, man. Like, how am I going to make it on $2,000 of ad revenue a day? Now, to be fair, as somebody who used to have had an okay following on Twitch, ad revenue made up such a small chunk of my revenue that I got, but I also wasn't like a bigger streamer, right? Although I feel like for ads, it probably is less because... Hey! There ain't even nothing out there. Did you just dream that something was out there? Like you wouldn't even know that anything was out there. Like, what are you freaking out about? You were just over here asleep. Yeah. Go eat your food. I put cheese on it, and I don't even think you went in there and ate it. What are you doing? So anyways, it just seems crazy that like some of these people get so out of touch that they're just like, bruh, $2,000 a day. That's crazy. I'd go work a 9 to 5 if all I got paid was $2,000 a day. And it's like, imagine saying that. Like, imagine being so out of touch that you think that $2,000 a day, that's like, what is that, 3, 6, it's like, what, 800-ish $1,000 a year? That's almost $1 million a year if you streamed every day, everyone on 365, right? Which they probably don't, it's whatever. Anyways, it's too much money, $500,000, and you're complaining about that? Insane. Now, I personally don't think that, streamers should be making that much money. I've always been astounded by how much money large streamers make. And it's crazy. And a lot of it doesn't come from ad revenue. A lot of it comes from like sponsors. Well, not Google ad revenue, right? Like it comes from sponsorships. It comes from, you know, people just giving them money, subs. Like it's so crazy. But at the same time, not everybody can do it because not everybody's an entertaining. Like I tell a lot of people, I'm like, are you charismatic and entertaining? Can you talk to nobody for half an hour in your kitchen, like nonstop, and just keep coming up with things that are interesting, even if nobody's talking to you because everybody's just words on a screen? Oh, you can't do that? Well, then streaming's probably not for you. Like that's just the reality of it. Like not everybody can do that job. Like, and it's just so crazy that like the very few people that make it, bro, they really make it. So, I mean, I'm not going to hate the player or hate the game. I just think it's just crazy how much money some people make. And, you know, at the same time, you know, it's one of those things, right? Where it's like content creation is a fickle mistress. One day you're riding high, and then the next day, bro, you're only making $2,000 a day in ad revenue. Like, you know, it was like with my gaming channel. Like, I switched from one game to another, and my videos took like a 75% reduction in views. Like I went from getting like 50,000 views of video, like 25 to 50,000 views of video, to like 3,000. Sometimes not even 1,000 on some videos. And it's just a content creation, man. Like you try to switch things up, sometimes you're just bricked. You're just bricked. You are at the whim of advertisers and the algorithm. And if you don't figure out how to game it, or you know, figure it out, well then sucks to suck, man. Sometimes you'll get boned for stuff that's not even your fault. You know, like if things just change, well, it's not your fault, but now you got to try to figure out how to navigate those waters. And it's just not a good time. Like not everybody's cut out to do it. That's why you see a lot of times, like after a certain amount of time, YouTubers just get burnt out and they're just not having fun doing what they're doing. But when that's your main source of income, you got to put on your pants and go to work. You got to make those videos and you have to muscle through it. Cause like that was what I thought, right? Like when I was just not having fun with a game, I'm like, I can't not get these views because like at a certain point, like, you know, part of me is like, this isn't a business. This isn't like a way to make money. That I don't like care that much. But the other part of me is like, well, I don't want to just like let my channel die. You know, I put in a lot of work in this because like I edited my own videos, I did all that stuff, you know, so it's tough, you know. And sometimes you gotta keep up with it. And then now, like you might just get a controversy out of nowhere and then you're canceled and your career's bricked. And even if you apologize, it's not enough. If you don't apologize, it's not enough. And it just all depends on how you handle it. And you know, there's a lot of mental stress there too. So I'm not eating this last one. Like it was 2 burgers was enough for me. I will eat the rest of this garlic bread, but like 2, I'm gonna save this one for later. But this was really good. Regardless, man, I got a little heated there. But yeah, it's crazy, like what social media has done to like people's perceptions of making it. You know, because it's one of those things where it's like if you ain't flexing in Bugattis with, you know, 11 out of 10 Instagram models, you know, eating at that annoying Salt Bay dude's restaurant, like, are you even living life and making it? Like, I say so often, social media was like the worst invention that mankind has ever come up with. Because like I was talking about in like I think it was like 2 nights ago, maybe, whenever it was, whatever dinner date we had, when I was talking about it, how like everything is so sensationalized, and that's what gets the clicks. But I feel like at a certain point, the pendulum's going to swing back, and people are just going to want to watch normal people doing normal things. You know, it's like, although we'll see. I mean, people are being raised on brain rot 30-second videos, and they can't read a book. And, you know, if it doesn't have 7 screens of like Sonic Double Dash on one, with like somebody squishing slime on another one with an AI voiceover, like it doesn't get any attraction, you know. But I think that like just people are brain bricked, man. Like I said, if you think if you got $1 million, if you don't think that you could just live super comfy for like a good long time off of that, like you are out of your mind. Yeah, maybe you can't do that in like downtown California, but downtown California fucking sucks anyways. I hate California. Every time I've ever went to California, it has just not been the greatest time. The only parts of California that I like are the Redwoods and Death Valley. And those aren't what you would consider California, really, right? Like, when you say California, nobody's like, oh, yeah, Death Valley? I love Death Valley. They go, oh, yeah, hobo poop bridges. Yeah, those are great. And it's like most of the people from California, and I apologize if anybody, actually, I don't apologize if any of you are from California, because you probably know the people that are also from California that are like, bro, you don't understand. California, so good. Quite literally the greatest state in the United States, in the Union. If it weren't for California, the rest of you would just be broke. Bro, your whole state just catches on fire like every year. Californians will be like, ha ha ha, look at the Texans freezing because of their power grid. Dog, your state catches on fire because you can't clean up your woods. Like, get out of here with that. But that doesn't matter because I'm from Ohio where our rivers catch on fire every so often. But, anyways, I'm going to put this away. I'm going to go try to edit, unedit this, time-lapse this video and see how that goes. Man. Ooh, I think that's a big old spider over there. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Tomorrow, probably. I don't know, we'll see what we eat. Peace out, homies.